The Kaled Mutant has a tube coming out of his head. There are 3D printed parts inside the cockpit. And we're back to some metal parts all this month for building the Dalek. Let's get started. Moving on with the build of the Kaled Mutant. This is the second mutant model that I was sent so that I could do some practice painting on it to figure out how I wanted to paint it before I did the actual one that is sent with the model. What I've done here, if you take a look with the brain area here, you can see that it's a lot more red. There's a lot more red lines. What I started with was the Tamiya clear red, the X27, and I thinned this down. I was trying to turn it into a wash similar to the panel liner that Tamiya makes, and put this on so that it would go down into all of the little cracks and crevices throughout the brain area. Unfortunately, it did not do exactly what I was after. What it did was it more tinted the whole area. If you look at the sort of the skin color here versus the skin color here, it made it a little bit more of an orange kind of color. So what I did instead was I went ahead and went with just the straight up red, the X7. Again, I did thin it out a little bit, and was able to get that to go more into the lines a little bit better. So I need to work on that. Possible what I need to do is put a clear coat over this first to seal it, and then try and get the paint to flow down into the lines a little bit differently. The panel line paints that they sell are in enamel versus the acrylic, and that may be part of that as well. I went ahead and put a coat of white over the whole eye area so that I can start working on the eye itself. And then you'll notice that one of its tentacles is, head tentacles is off. This is actually not a tentacle itself. They're actually clear tubes that come down into the side of the mutant's head here. So here's one of them, and here you can see I've replaced it with a piece of tubing. I was able to get a tube that's the same diameter as these pieces here that were molded in, and as I cut that off, I did have to clip out the hole a little bit to be able to slide the tube down inside the model, and it actually is held on quite nicely with some medium viscosity CA. So I have the other one over here to do, and to cut that off was actually quite simple. All I did was I used a pair of nippers, and I lifted the piece up so that I'm just stretching it a little bit, and you can see that little bit of a webbing that starts to form in there. And then I just gave that a little clip, and then another little clip. And as this moves down, it just slowly trims off, and I can keep that flush the whole way down as I trim that off. So I'll be able to do that on the final mutant model when I'm ready for that. Then the tubing here will then be able to be added into the rest of the Dalek model. Potentially have to drill a small hole to thread it through and then glue it off, because these would be attached into the robotic part of the whole system. So that's what's going on with the Kaled Mutant. Here are some new parts that are going to be added into the Dalek. No, these are not from Hachette. These are some custom-made parts by his gentleman's name is Kip Beagle. He and I have been discussing a number of pictures that I found of the original Dalek prop used for this show, for this style of Dalek, and showing the interior, of course, which we're building. And as I had stated early on, the interior was not screen accurate, and I wanted to try and get it at least closer to being screen accurate. And Kip has been working on making some 3D parts to also add detail to his, similar to the actual filming prop. He's already shown these particular pieces here on his thread in the Dalek Build Facebook group, and during our discussions, developed these pieces here. So how do all these go in? Well, first off, these pieces are going to go onto the side. These two pieces here go onto the cylinders that are on the lower section. And then these parts here are similar to the ones that Hachette provide, and he has made them a little bit taller. They are still smaller in diameter than the actual filming prop model, but he has also made the top more accurate as well. So he actually sent two of them. One that was done with filament 3D printing, and has the little peg holes that line up with the pegs that are here. And then he's also been working with the resin printer as well. The detail is much crisper and sharper on the resin, which is quite typical. But he was not able to get the holes to print on the bottom. So I know he is working on trying to improve that as well. So these are all going to go into place. I'm going to show you that here very shortly. These pieces might look like some type of part that would go onto some mechanical machine, a motor or something like that. Maybe some type of a head gasket. You can see these in pictures of the Dalek. They're difficult to see. They're in the background, but there are a few really good pictures of them, and I'll show those here. So where do these go? Let me readjust and I will show you. So this is how these parts are going to go in place. So the two pieces that I had mentioned here going on top of the cylinders, they go in place here. And there will be some wires that are going to come out of those, which I haven't put into place, but that will eventually get put in place there. Of course, the cylinders on the sides would sit over here, and of course over here I just didn't bother putting the second one in. As far as these two big pieces go, they're going to fit here and over here. And with the Dalek in place and with all the other hoses and wires that are going to go in, they should disappear into the background just like the real ones did. These are just prototype pieces. Kip is actually working on a version 2 of them, and so I should have an updated version of those at some point soon, and I'll be able to then put those in place. So for now, these are just going to be placeholders. I'm not actually going to glue them down. I may just use some double stick tape just to hold them in place while I'm doing other things, but these are where those are going to go. So that is some extra detail parts for the interior of the Dalek, and I'm sure that there's going to be more a little bit later on. But for now, let's go ahead and get on into the build for this month. Issue number 35. This is taking us all the way to the bottom of the Dalek and starting to create the base for the Dalek. It will be including a number of these base plates, a lot of these different risers that we have here to be able to support the skirting and the bumper area, and then pieces that are going to help to hold all of these in place. So this is going to be the case basically for the rest of this year until we get till January before we move on to any other area. So we're going to be seeing a lot of these aluminum plates. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so you definitely have to check to make sure that the base plate's in the correct orientation. These brackets, one of them has a top that is really long, the other has one that is short. So I've got this oriented to go into the 3 holes here, and then this has to get flipped over, set this plate into place here, and then we have screws that will go in. Okay, and then the second one is exactly the same concept. And then finally, with this, let's see, according to the directions, with this sitting in this position here, this piece is going to go into these 2 holes. And instead of having a bottom plate like this one is actually using flanged screws to hold it in place. And that's the end of this step. On into the next one. Issue number 36 is just like issue number 35. However, instead of just one of these, this time we have 3. So once again, starting with the base plate, I'm going to get that put into the correct orientation here. So that's going to go like that. We're then going to take the bracket, get this set into place, put the plate over the holes, and drive the screws in. So I'm just going to go ahead and move right on through this to get this one done. And we do have the addition of the extra short pieces to add on. So that completes the step 36 part. But we do have to go back to the step 35 part and add in the other piece here. Not quite sure why they just didn't include it in the in step 35, but you know, there it is. And with that, step 36 is officially completed. Step number 37, we get this large plate that we're going to be attaching the two smaller pieces that have just been worked on onto this one. Included with this is a small Allen wrench, the screws that go along with that, and then 3mm nuts that go along with this. Knowing that this is going to be an area that's going to get a lot of vibration due to the wheels that are going to go into the area here, it's going to be rolling on the floor. Instead of using the supplied nuts that are here, I'm actually going to replace those with nylon nuts so that it will lock on. So these are just simple 3mm, but they have got the nylon locking ring inside there, so that will lock those down nice and tight, and I don't have to worry about them vibrating at all as they go vibrating loose as the Dalek goes across the floor and such. The screws are going to come up from the underside of the pieces that were done previously, and then through the large plate that we've been provided for this step, and then the nuts go on to that. So I'm going to go ahead and just hand thread these into place and then tighten these down afterwards. Now that each of the screws and nuts are in place, I can go ahead and use my spinner and my Allen bolt to tighten each of these down. So get that in place. Not the easiest thing to show on camera, so I'll just go ahead and get each of these done. With all the screws and nuts tightened down, that is the end of step number 37. On to the next one. Step number 38 actually starts with having you tighten all of the nuts and bolts using their little nut driver that's provided here. I'm happy with the ones that I'm using, so I'll put this into the little toolkit, and I'll have it in case for some reason I do end up needing to use it, but in this case I won't need that for this particular step. Step number 38, we've got pieces very similar to what we've seen before, and the process is going to be the same as it was in 35 and 36. And that is the end of step number 38. Thank you very much for watching. This has been a a nice change from what we've been working on with the cockpit area for the Dalek, and now starting to work on the base area. I said this before in a previous video. I really thought that once we had finished doing the dome, which you can just see off screen here, that this is where we would have headed and had done the cockpit stuff later on. And of course, I really thought the Kaled Mutant would have been the very last thing that we would get in this build. But we're working on the base now. As you can see, these large openings here, these are for the wheels that are going to be driving the whole Dalek around. I believe there's a light that's actually going to go in here to put a glow out from underneath. We'll see if I'm correct on that or not. So come next month, we'll have some more base plates to add on, some more of these brackets that are going to go on as well, some more of the same. I hope to have another update for you on the cockpit area, getting hopefully the version 2 of these parts, because as I said, they are too big. Thanks again to Kip for making these. Looking forward to seeing the second version of these, and eventually adding these other parts into place, getting them painted up, adding in some wiring that needs to go into there, and really getting this to start moving more along. I'm also hoping to get a little bit more work done on the Kaled Mutant. I just picked up some fresh red, both flat and glossy red from Tamiya, we'll use those to do some painting on the Kaled Mutant and move forward on that. As you can see, the LEDs are sitting here. I haven't worked on the electronics for the control console for a while, but I will certainly be getting back to that as well. So lots to do. We got plenty of time to work on this. Thanks a lot for watching. Have yourself a great month, and I will talk to you again later. Bye-bye.